Hi everyone, it's Aaron from Push Square, and I'm here today to celebrate one of the most enduring franchises that PlayStation has ever known. Yes, ever since the PlayStation 3 saw a wide release in 2007, Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed series of stealth-orientated open-world actioners have been there with us too. But what are the best ever Assassin's Creed games? Well, that's what we're here today to settle, and what today's video is going to cover. Before we begin, just to let you know that this list was voted on and ranked by the Push Square readership. So once again, you've only got yourselves to blame. Personally though, I think it's a pretty good list. The original version was written by the magnificent Robert RAMSEY for the Push Square website, before being edited and adapted into video by me. Anyway, let's not waste any more time, it's time to put your hoods on. Let's rank every Assassin's Creed game ever on PlayStation. Originally released alongside Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation is an often forgotten installment in Ubisoft's series. The game puts you in the shoes of Aveline de Grandpré, the franchise's first female lead. She scours the city of New Orleans looking for the members of the Templar Order, who have all kinds of nefarious plans in place. The game also features a unique mechanic, in that Aveline can wear different disguises to go undercover during specific missions. Originally an expansion for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry focuses on Adewale, Edward Kenway's seafaring ally. In it, the once enslaved Adewale embarks on his own journey to scupper Templar plans in Haiti. A brutal and bloody campaign ensues as the stoic protagonist rallies against the slave trade and those who would perpetuate it. Assassin's Creed Unity is widely regarded as a low point for Ubisoft's series, mostly because of the dreadful condition in which the game launched. Riddled with bugs and performance problems on PlayStation 4, Unity's technical issues hamstrung an otherwise impressive sandbox title. Set during the French Revolution, Unity's recreation of Paris is often jaw-dropping, and its story is full of political intrigue. The game's surprisingly ambitious co-op missions and online components are also worth mentioning, but they've largely been forgotten about in the grand scheme of things. Assassin's Creed Rogue takes the blueprint of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, with its naval combat and island-hopping exploration, but it tells a slightly darker tale. Main character and former assassin Shay McCormack defects to the Templar Order, and you'll actually have to fight against the Brotherhood throughout this morally weighted adventure. Breaking away from Ezio and his daring escapades, Assassin's Creed 3 was something of a new starting point for the sandbox series. The game's opening acts are extremely slow, a characteristic that would go on to draw a lot of criticism even to this day. But this tale of American Revolution is underpinned by an intriguing setting and some truly eye-catching story beats. Protagonist Connor Kenway isn't the most lively of assassins, but his stoic demeanour fits the game's serious tone well. A bit of a divisive installment, true, but there's still enjoyment to be found, especially in those surprisingly brutal combat animations. The title that birthed one of gaming's most popular properties, Assassin's Creed tells the tale of Altair, a member of the Assassin Brotherhood. Blending a historical Holy Land setting with staple gameplay mechanics like social stealth and the all-important Hidden Blade, this original release laid the foundations for Ubisoft's immensely successful series. It's fair to say that its sequels greatly improve upon most of what Assassin's Creed attempts, but this is still where it all began. The first game in the series to feature both a male and female protagonist, Assassin's Creed Syndicate arrived at a time when Ubisoft had to play it safe, following the heavily criticised launch of Assassin's Creed Unity just a year earlier. Syndicate takes place in London during the Industrial Revolution, which makes for a rather rich and interesting, but very unhealthy, backdrop. Leads Jacob and Evie Fry are tasked with taking control of the English capital, borough by borough. Cue a lot of skull-cracking fistfights, Cockney accents, and some seriously brutal stealth takedowns. The third and final installment in the Ezio trilogy, Assassin's Creed Revelations features an older Ezio who is hell-bent on learning the truth behind the once ancient organisation that he now leads. It's a darker, perhaps more serious story than what you'll find in any of the previous games, as Ezio comes to terms with the violent legacy that he'll one day have to leave behind. Gameplay-wise, Revelations builds upon its predecessors in a number of ways, introducing new tools like the hook blade and throwable bombs, while also pushing dynamic elements such as random real-world events. In a lot of ways, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like a blend of Origins and Odyssey. Like Origins, there's much more focus on storytelling in this epic Viking saga. But like Odyssey, Valhalla leans heavily on expanded RPG mechanics, such as leveling up, equipment and skill trees. You play as Eivor, a vision-haunted Viking warrior who leaves Norway to establish a new home in 9th century England. Featuring a lush open world stuffed with all kinds of landmarks and secrets, Valhalla is a real time sink of a game, but its story-driven acts offer up some of the best characters and narrative beats seen in the entire series. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is much more of an open-world RPG than it is a traditional Assassin's Creed title. The second installment in the series' open-world trilogy, this ancient Greek adventure may overlook a lot of the game design that defined its predecessors, but there's no denying that its interlocking RPG systems makes for a deep and engaging experience. Leveling up, loot, skill trees, and randomized elements like bounty hunting mercenaries all play a part across a truly gigantic map. The story's not too bad either, as protagonist Alexios or Cassandra embarks on a branching journey to learn the truth about his or her legendary bloodline. A stunning recreation of ancient Egypt is the backdrop for Assassin's Creed Origins, a game that redefined Ubisoft's series. Going full open world and throwing a bunch of RPG systems into the mix, Origins breathed new life into Assassin's Creed after Unity and Syndicate struggled to leave a lasting impression. Origins follows the surprisingly emotional story of Bayek, a determined mystic and warrior who, with the help of his estranged wife Aya, establishes the Hidden Ones, the precursor organization that would one day become known as the Assassin Brotherhood. A direct sequel to the beloved Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood refined a lot of the gameplay elements that 2 popularized. Slick combat, improved stealth opportunities, and a superb recreation of Rome all make Brotherhood stand out. And of course, Ezio Auditore da Firenze is back, arguably with even more swagger, and this time he's the spearhead of Italy's ballooning guild of assassins. Perhaps the game's most famous mechanic is the ability to call upon these rookie killers both in and out of combat, which really hammers home the sense that you're building up a brotherhood. It's a pirate's life for Edward Kenway, the charismatic but troubled protagonist of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Taking control of your own ship and crew, this is an excellently realised pirating sim with some typical assassin stuff thrown in for good measure. An impressive naval combat system makes exploring the high seas a real thrill, and boarding Imperial vessels for some swashbuckling battles simply never gets old. Outside of those tedious tailing missions, Black Flag is a top-tier Assassin's Creed title. Assassin's Creed 2 is the game that put Ubisoft's series on the map. It improved upon everything that its predecessor introduced, with more in-depth social stealth, combat, and mission design. The story was a hit as well, following the rise of beloved protagonist Ezio Auditore da Firenze. After his father and brothers are framed and executed, Ezio embarks on a twisting and turning quest for revenge against the Templar Order, a cult-like organisation that seeks to control society from behind the scenes. With a brilliantly realised Renaissance Italy as its backdrop, Assassin's Creed 2 remains a memorable and atmospheric PlayStation 3 classic. So there you have it in terms of our list of the best Assassin's Creed games ever on PlayStation. What's your favourite Assassin's Creed game, and just how well did it rank here? Be sure to let us know in the comment section below. And then, when you've done that, why not leave a like to show some love, and consider subscribing to the Push Square YouTube channel for everything else PlayStation related. Until next time, thank you as ever for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.